If you have a golfer on your Christmas shopping list this year, you're going to want to pay close attention to some big changes on the most essential merchandise, the golf balls themselves. This is called the golf ball rollback, changing the rules to roll back distance in golf. The head golf pro at golf headquarters in Boardman, Seth Scala, is joining us now to explain what all of this means, get his reaction to how this is impacting the purchase of the balls. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We were looking online. A lot of trade publications like Golf Digest are reporting on this. The rollback is linked to apparently the test for the overall distance standard. So can you explain just in regular terms how the golf balls are tested and performed differently under this new rollback?
Yeah, so the USGA and then the RNA, which is the two major governing bodies of the game of golf, USGA obviously being here in the United States and the RNA being overseas in Europe. They claim to have their own data supporting this new decision. It's been a rumor that this was going to be in the works for a couple of years now, and they just think that golfers, especially at the pro level, which is a small 1% to 2%, players are just hitting the golf ball too far, and many of the golf courses in the world are becoming obsolete. But they have decided that, both the pro game and the amateur level should be affected, and the golf balls should be dialed back as far as the speed that the golf ball, leaves the club face at impact.
Got it. So when people go to buy the balls, do they buy different ones, or is everyone buying the same kind of golf ball now?
Well, I mean, most of the manufacturers will tell you that the golf ball, for example, on our shelves here at Golf Headquarters, are the same golf ball that your favorite professional also uses every week in tournament play. However, there are some golf balls out there by some of the major manufacturers that are designed and dialed in for that certain professional, whether it be Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, for example. And that particular golf ball for them isn't quite the same one that we can get every day in your local golf shop.
Now, I know the professionals, they'll have their own reaction to the balls and the standards that are set, but the regular mortals like us that are not Tiger Woods, how does this affect our game and how well we can hit the ball, how far we can hit the ball?
Well, it's going to affect that player, the everyday weekend amateur player the most. I mean, these are the players that, don't get out and get to practice and train their bodies as often as the pro at the professional level, the elitist of the elite. You take the longest players on tour, and they're going to still be the longest players on tour. So dialing the golf ball back, whether it be, 5 to 8 miles an hour of ball speed, which equates to 10 to 12 yards, that's going to affect, your average 15 to 20 handicapper the most, when maybe they only average, 200 yards off the tee, where the average female player only averages 150 yards off the tee. That's the difference between hitting a 7-iron into the hole, instead of a 6-iron, and that's where it's going to make the biggest difference.
Now, how does it impact the manufacturers themselves? What have you heard? What have you noticed with the products, and do they end up costing more?
Absolutely. I mean, they're going to, require the major manufacturers like Titleist and Callaway and Bridgestone, et cetera, to spend, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to retool their facilities to, basically design and produce a lower tier inferior golf ball than what's out there today, and then at the same time expect a retailer like myself to sell that golf ball to the public.
Yeah, so definitely something we should consider when we're doing our Christmas shopping. If someone has any questions, obviously they need to come to Golf Headquarters to see you, because you definitely have a good sense as to what is happening. And I think a lot of folks that are picking up the game and learning, this is just another learning curve that we're going to have to, understand how to hit this ball. Maybe you'll have some tips for that too. Really appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much, Seth.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.